You ever try and dye interior parts? The one nice thing about my car is the interior is black, which stinks on hot days, but basically you can turn any interior part black to match what you got. Anyway, I've got some side panels and I'm going to dye them black and I'll show you exactly how I do it. No, I should just clarify. I painted the whole red interior in my Dodge truck project. I painted it all to black, which was dumb, but that's what my son wanted, and we did the truck for him. So it's a whole lot of extra work and pissing around that I didn't need to do, but I did it. So I've got a little bit of experience in how this works and how it lasts. And the way I'm showing you and the way I'm doing it, it lasts real well. It's been on his truck for a while now, and it's showing no signs of wear to this point. So I'm cautiously optimistic that this is going to hold up real good in the car too, especially in the back. I mean, nobody hardly ever goes back there except the dog, and I don't see her scratching up against the side panels that much. So I think it's going to be just about right. This is the victim. I've got a couple of real nice rear side panels for my 74 Plymouth Duster. Um, the door panels themselves are really, really tough to come by, but I lucked out and I got a pair of really nice side panels for the rear, but they're the wrong color. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some readily available stuff and paint them to match the rest of the interior. Well, the biggest, most important thing when you're painting vinyl like this, if you want it to stick, it's got to be clean as clean can be. So let's start out. We'll just clean it as good as we can. Anyway, I'm just going to start with some foaming glass cleaner because I've always got this crap in the shop and I bought like 2 cases of it a little while ago and now I use it as the first clean for just about everything I do. And the next thing you want to do is clean it with some kind of wax and grease remover. You know what? I've used this cheaper duplicolor crap. I've used the good stuff from the body shop supply place. Didn't really notice any different. I honestly, I've been told, and I'm going to try it sometime, but you can just use gasoline. I mean, it's just going to be whatever you got to do to soften up the surface and take the grease and wax off there. Make sure you get a little bit of adhesion with your first coat of primer. So, Steve, if you look on the rag there, it's actually taking some of the color off the door panel. So you know you're getting right down to something where that paint's actually going to stick to what you got there. Now the next step is going to be this duplicolor adhesion promoter. Now I'm not saying duplicolor is good or bad or anything. I've used it a lot in the past and I've had really good success with it. Actually, the first time I ever tried it, and kind of the longest lasting thing that I can say I really know it worked really well on, I restored the center console for my 74 Duster. Now it was originally a black console, but it was all chalky and crappy looking. So I did exactly what I did here. I cleaned it up real good. I used the wax and grease remover. I used this adhesion promoter. And I also used the duplicolor black vinyl dye, vinyl paint, whatever you call it. and it's going on 5 or 6 years. And I've put probably 20 25,000 k on the car in that time, and I don't baby it. I use it as a car. It's worked out real well for me, and I'm pretty sure it's going to work out here again. So after letting that dry for a full 24 hours and coming out here to paint it, realizing it didn't have any paint, screwing around for another day. So it's actually sat for like 48 hours, which I've never let it sit that long. So hopefully there's no negative effects to that, but I guess we're going to see. This is the stuff that I'm going to use to paint it. Vinyl and fabric dye. It's the stuff that I've used before. The only reason I do use it is because it's available locally, and it just turned out that it works real well for me. Now I just set the piece up on top of a couple of lids off of some spray cans just to get a little separation from the surface that it's sitting on, so I can make sure I get the edges real good. Basically all but the front edge of this is covered real well with well, it's either behind the seat or under the seat or behind some kind of a trim or something like that. But you know what? I want to make sure everything's good and covered anyway. Gave it a coat, let it sit for about 10 minutes. Gonna give it another coat, see how it's covered. First coat covered pretty decent. I want to make sure these things end up looking really, really good. I'm actually hoping a little bit of that shine comes out of them because I really don't necessarily need them that shiny. If they're shiny, I guess I'm gonna have to maybe look at a different paint for this application or something. I don't know. So it ended up covering well with two coats. But you know what? These cans don't really spray worth a crap after the first time you open them. So what I decided to do is just give it three coats just to be make sure I got good coverage. And you know what? It's never gonna hurt. I mean, it's not gonna make it peel or anything like that because I'm taking my 10 minutes between coats and stuff like that. So I'm sure it's gonna be good. So three coats of paint, and they're looking really good. Like I say, they're a little shinier than I thought they would be. I was hoping, well, I'm not sure. Maybe they'll be just fine because they do seem to kind of match the shininess of my back seats. And I actually purchased new door panels, door cards from year one, and they're not here yet. They're actually in the city, but they're screwing around, not delivering them for whatever reason. Anyway, I hope this is going to match what I bought from year one. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world because you're not like, yes, they are side by side, but the way the car's laid out and the way the seats are and whatnot, you're never going to really see the difference between one to the other. And realistically, if they do, if it's that bad, I'll do one of two things. I'll either paint my new door panels with this paint to match these, which I'm probably not going to do because I paid a buttload for those new door panels from year one. It was freaking ridiculous for what you get. But anyway, if I don't do that, which I probably won't do, I'll just look for a different paint that more resembles the the finish on the year one door cards, and I guess we'll just go from there. Anyway, as far as this goes, this finish for what it is gonna hold on there really well, and it's gonna do a good job. Only thing is whether I chose the right paint to match the other stuff. So I guess that's yet to be seen. Anyways, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned something a little bit out of it. Thanks for watching.